You all know that I love laser engravers, and we had a lot of reviews of them on this channel. Today we are going to make an unbox and testing of a new laser engraver, and probably the most powerful one that I had till now. Also maybe the best looking one as well. And this will be the Atomstack P9 series, and is claimed to have 10 watts laser. 10 watts luminance power, not electric power, so it must be powerful. That's why today we'll have an unbox of this product, assemble the machine, and test it with all sorts of materials and thicknesses. So if you want to buy this product, this video might give you a general idea of its capabilities. So guys, let's get started. What's up my friends, welcome back. The box is a bit heavy since all the parts are made out of metal. So let's see what we received with this kit. After I took everything out, this is what we have. First we have two parts for the frame, the X and the Y axis. These parts will merge together like this. Then we have the electronics case and this other metal part, and this will be used as a support for the machine. And these parts are laser cut of thick metal. So that's it for the main frame. But together with these parts we also have the display that is enclosed inside of this plastic case. I can also see that it has a magnet behind it, so we can stick this display wherever we want. And then we have the most important part, the laser module. This is also enclosed inside of a metal case. It has the power driver on top together with a cooling fan. And on the bottom we can see a tinted glass, and this is made to protect us from the powerful laser beam. Then we also get these plastic supports, and these are used for the assembling process. As you can see here on the manual, we will use this to keep the machine suspended while we add the metal supports. And yes, you also receive this manual, which is of very good quality, and it has a lot of instructions with color illustrations. You have the assembly instructions, the display settings, the software installation, and laser maintenance. And finally we have the power supply, an HDMI cable, and the USB cable. And to protect the surface below the machine, you also receive this metal sheet, and you could put this below the engraver. Then inside of this plastic bag, we have all sorts of small components. We get some tools, some acrylic parts, and some zip ties. We also get the needed belts, some wires, and the screws to assemble the machine. And then we have three types of materials to test it on: acrylic, wood, and some fabric, but later we'll test this machine on much more. So this is all that you receive with this kit, so now let's assemble it. The first step is to insert the X-axis onto the Y-axis like this, with the stepper motor facing downwards. Now we arrange those plastic cones, and they will keep the body of the machine in mid-air. So now we can add the sides. So use the given screws and tie the sides of the machine. Okay, so step 3 is to add the belt for the Y-axis. But first we add the screws with two bearings on this side. Then we can pass the belt by the step motor, and then we tie it onto the axis support. You might need to lose a little bit the motor so we can tighten the belt. Then you add the other end of the belt, and now we can tighten back the stepper motor, and that's it. Now step 4 is to add a laser module, and that's more than easy. We just slide it in place and tighten the screw. And we can use this later to adjust the focus. And for the display, all we have to do is to connect the HDMI cable from the electronics case to the display. And then we can place it here on the side, using the magnet it has on the back. Now we use the given cable to make all the connections for the stepper motors, the laser and the end stop switches. And that's it, the machine is assembled. I place the protective metal sheet below and we are ready. Connect the power supply. And now I pour on the machine. Okay guys, so now that the machine is assembled, I will try to cut some materials, because if you can cut a material, you can definitely engrave it just by lowering the power. So that's what we will do next. So let's just try to cut some wood with different thicknesses, maybe some leather, some plastic, some acrylic, and so on. So let's just start with that. Okay, so let's now see if we can cut some materials first of different thicknesses, and then we can make some engraving tests in order to see the pixel quality. So I connect my machine to my PC using the USB cable, and this machine is compatible with the Laser GRBL software. So download that for free and run it on your PC. I open the connection, and as you can see, I can now control the machine with the buttons. I first press the laser focus button and the laser will turn on in low power mode. I can now adjust the height of the laser module in order to focus the beam. And from now on, you should have the safety goggles on. I've downloaded this star shape and I'll try to cut this out of different materials. I start with 3.5mm plywood. On the Laser GRBL software, I open that picture and I select the cutting speed, the power and the size of the shape. I want to make it to be 4 by 4 centimeters. Okay, so now I have my design. I place the plywood below the laser. I press the frame button in order to see where the shape will go. And now I adjust the position of the wood. That's it, we can now press the play button and see the results. And amazing! With only one loop, I was able to cut the 3.5mm plywood without any problem. And the cut is so precise compared with some of my previous laser cutters. So the laser module is definitely more powerful, since none of my machines is able to cut this wood so fast with only one loop. And because it's so powerful, let's make another test with some 5mm thick plywood and see the results. This should be more difficult to cut. And the first attempt was a failure, because the laser module was touching the wood board and moved it. The metal sheet below is not perfectly flat, so it will touch the laser. So I've tried this another time. And once again, amazing! I was able to pass to the other side with no problems. Just a little push and the star shape is out, and this is 5mm plywood, which for these low power CNC machines is very thick. Actually, I wasn't able to cut 5mm plywood with just one loop before with my other CNC machines, so that's great. So till now everything is going okay. And of course I was also able to cut this black polyester foam of 1mm. And then I've also made some tests with some RC plain foam like this one of 3mm, and I was also able to cut it without any problems. And then I've made some tests with some MDF, which is a little bit more difficult to cut because it's like this compressed wood, but even so I was able to pass to the other side. And this was a 2mm MDF. I guess that for something thicker you will need more than one loop for MDF. Another wood test was using 3 plywood sheets together with a total thickness of 6mm, and this should be a good test. But once again my focus point was too close, so the module moved the wood. But if that wouldn't happen, it will be a success, because look, it passed through all 3 sheets, so it will totally work fine with 6mm plywood. That's why I've made another test with 2 plywood sheets of 5mm, so a total thickness of 10mm. The first test was with 5 loops, and it almost passed to the other side, as you can see. So that's why I've made this test again with 7 loops, and this time it went through all the way. So this is amazing. I could now cut 10mm plywood with this machine. So for now we can cut plywood up to 10mm or maybe even more, but I don't have a thicker wood for now. We can also cut MDF, some kind of foam for RC planes, and this dark polyester foam, so let's try something more. This here is a red leather that I've used in another review. So let's cut it. And yes, we can also cut leather as well, and I think the power was a little bit too strong. I've also tried the machine with some white acrylic, but we all know that for transparent or white objects, we need a different wavelength, and I was only able to make a small engraving on the white acrylic. As for the dark, translucent acrylic, the power was a little bit too high, and it melted instead of leaving a clean cut. The machine is not that good with transparent or translucent plastic. Okay guys, so now let's make some engravings, and I will give you my final thoughts after that. The first engraving I've made was this pattern, where we can see the contrast, the darkest and the lightest spots that we can get. And this was made in line mode. Then I've also engraved my logo on some plywood as well. And the first one was a little bit too powerful, since as you can see it did more than just engraving. It took almost 1mm of wood out. So I've lowered the power and made another test. And this time it turned out better. So as you can see, you might need to adjust the power for different materials in order to get the results that you want. And then I've engraved my logo on a metal sheet covered with some paint. Because we can't really burn out metal, but we can burn the paint on top of it, resulting into some nice designs. And the results are pretty good. Once it's finished, you have to clean the remaining dust so we can see the metal below. And I think this turned out pretty decent, right? The next engraving test is on some fabric. But I start with a little bit too much power, and as you can see the fabric melted. So I've tried this once again with lower power, and this time it was a lot better. I think we could lower the power even more, but in general it was a good result. But as you can see, just by playing with the power settings, we can engrave on wood, on cork, on ceramic, fabric, plastic, paint and metal, and a lot more. So now that we have the real power of this machine, let's talk about the specs and my final opinion. The printing size is of 200 by 200 mm. The laser module has a fixed focus, but you could adjust it just by moving the module up and down. The power is of 10 watts of luminance power, not electrical power. I don't have a laser meter, but this is from the official page, and as you can see the M50 laser module is of 10 watts of luminance power, and that is a lot. This laser is using a double compression spot, meaning it has two lasers focused on the same spot, and that's how it can get so much power. Its wavelength is of 445 nanometers, so we can't really cut transparent materials. I also like the nice ultraviolet filter glass on the bottom, so we can see the spot while it's turned on and also be protected. But even so, make sure that you wear some protection glasses as well. And by the way, you can also print directly from here using an SD card, without needing a PC connected with USB connection, and that's a nice thing to have. And the part I most like is the design, because everything is made out of metal and very strong. And personally, I also like the color, and the mold injected plastic parts are also nice quality touch. All the electronics are inside of this case, and there are no loose wires. And everything is well connected, and we also have an emergency button. Also having this shape, we can place this machine on any surface that we want. So guys, I hope that you now have a brief description of this product in case that you want to buy it. And the interesting part is the laser power. Because for a low power consumer laser, this is quite powerful, probably one of the best for this price range. It has a stiff body, It can cut plywood up to 10mm and also MDF and acrylic. The size is pretty decent and is very easy to use. So check the links below and maybe this will help you decide to buy one or not. Thanks again and see you later, guys. Hey, so one more video that ends, I hope that you like it. Okay, so listen, if you want to buy my merch, my t-shirts, you have the links below for my shop, and I promise that I will make more designs. And also maybe you would comment below which one you like more and what more designs you would like to see, because in that way I could start designing them and post my new t-shirts. So thank you for all the support and I'll see you in the next video.